Okay, it's 4 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order and welcome everybody here. I guess the first thing we'll do is talk about the mission statement, and since we've been having so many of these meetings, I haven't done my usual reading of what the mission statement means to some of our teachers and our kids. But we can still go over, ESC County empowers all students become responsible, effective citizens in a ever-growing global society. I think we need to keep that in mind every time we come to a school board meeting. So I would take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
A motion and a second to approve the agenda as written. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, so basically, we've had a couple of meetings about the superintendent position and where we're going. And right now, it looks like the sharing that we voted on last time is not going to work. We did have some discussion at the last meeting, and I think an interim is really the way that we can go right now. We don't have time to go through the whole process. John, is there any legal action that we have to take as far as posting?
Yeah, we would need, we haven't really advertised. So the only advertising we did indicated a shared position. So we would have to advertise through Teach Iowa, that's the state law, and then any other advertising you wanted me to do. We belong to Iowa REAP. Obviously we put it on our website. I guess anything else that you would direct us to do.
So legally, we have to put it on Teach Iowa,
Right.
And then we could put it in a paper or two if we wanted to.
Yep, whatever.
Well, I mean, obviously, I think we would certainly tell you to put it in on Teach Iowa. Do we need a motion to do that, do you think?
I'm just looking for direction today, on which way you want to go.
John, if I could.
Yeah.
As John and I talked about this, and I'll have him articulate it because he's less windy than I am, but it struck both of us that there's really 3 options for the district at this point. John?
Well, you could direct me to continue to research sharing with our with Kurt Somlin. I'm sure it's getting late in the game for them to make changes to their administrative staff. We can advertise, look for an interim, or you could direct me to go ahead and get a search firm hired and look for a full-blown, full-time replacement. If we went that direction, I'd recommend we just go with the firm we've used most recently. That's would have been Tryon and Associates, because they're familiar with us. If you go with option 2, which is interim, then I'd say we'd probably go with Teach Iowa and Iowa REAP in our website. This is probably going to have to be somebody within driving distance for a 1-year deal. So, if you went with Carroll, Fort Dodge, Storm Lake papers, if you were going to do papers, that might be timely and cost effective.
Truthfully, anyone that's looking for positions, everybody's been steered.
Teach Iowa.
Teach Iowa. We could do papers if you want, but and the cost of those papers is reasonable enough. If you want to talk to the Des Moines Register, you're probably talking $1,000 to run a little ad.
If we put this on Teach Iowa, how quick do you think anybody will hit those, or, I mean, is it gonna be a week, is it gonna be 3 weeks?
Well, it would be there tomorrow by noon at the latest, right?
We put it on tonight, it'll be on tonight, it's
Yeah.
instantaneous. What we do is that we have a system that we use internally to post positions, and when we do that, then it posts automatically to Teach Iowa. And then it'd be on our website, and then when we go in and manually do it for Iowa REAP too. So we can have that by tomorrow, they all somebody looking, it's hard to say, Jay. I mean, but that's how it is done in the state of Iowa for all positions.
If we advertise for the interim, what are we actually advertising for? Are we gonna go for a part-time person, salary negotiable, benefits negotiable, time negotiable? I mean, what would the ad look like? I think you should probably sit back and say that, because you might get more people that would put part-time than full-time.
Sure.
I don't know for sure, but everybody else is.
I think that's a good thought. I mean,
My thought would be, it would be part-time unless there was curriculum with it, then it would have to be closer to full-time.
Okay, well, I'm just saying the ad should say something, or at least negotiable, or in time of the contract, 1 year only. I mean,
I would think so, because the intent, in my opinion, would be to get back in the sharing game next year.
That's
You
my,
know, who
that's
knows
my
what-
big.
Going on around us. There's instability to our west, there's,
I guess I think you could, if you want to broaden the pool as much as possible, you could list both terms. Maybe that's what you were talking about, Brent, the part-time / to full-time to be negotiated or whatever. You open it up and get as many people interested as you can. Because you're right, I think. Generally, an interim superintendent is somebody that's a retired, that may not want a full-time gig. And that begs some other questions. Who's going to pick up the slack? But that's a discussion for another day.
yeah. I personally like the, the 1 year interim. And I think that's the direction that we really should be looking right now.
With the interim, I guess I'm still an advocate of having a curriculum director of some type. I mean, if you're gonna have a part-time superintendent, or, I mean, we've gotta have
Gotta do
somebody
something.
to pick up the loose ends.
Can we, with the ad on Teach Iowa for an interim superintendent, can we also put one on there for a curriculum director at the same time?
Does that open up too many cans of worms without getting first,
I'd like to
I
get-
understand what you're saying,
yeah.
but
You know,
That's a
if
good point, though.
we would get an interim soup in place, you know,
Then go after the curriculum director, yeah.
because it may even end up being shared around us with somebody if we can get
Still
that.
qualify for sharing money, even if
Right.
it's not attached to the superintendent's position. So we could certainly inquire about those possibilities in our neighboring districts.
Well, I'm fine with getting started on finding an interim superintendent, and then after that's done,
yeah,
see if we can't piece
we're on the same page.
piece together. Sharing would be the first option I'd like to see, but
Mhm.
Sure, yeah, I think everybody wanted to share. So then I think what we need to do then is, have a motion to look at an interim superintendent, and then, that contract and that kind of thing can be worked out at a later time, don't you think?
I'll make that motion, that we advertise on Teach Iowa, for an interim superintendent. And I guess I'll leave it up to Dr. Feeney and John to put the ad together. I mean, you heard everybody what they expect.
But the intent is 1 year.
1 year. That's my motion.
So then, what's our timeline, as far as,
You get a second first.
yeah, right? Well, you guys are here, right?
We need a second if we're gonna discuss it.
Oh, yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to advertise for an interim superintendent on Teach Iowa. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Before we move on then, what do you typically put on that for a deadline, Kevin? And you-
We usually, for a teaching position, we usually put it out about 3 weeks for as a deadline. Or you can use the term until filled, and then just run it during that time. At this stage, I'd probably use the language until filled, and then we run it on Teach Iowa. You can run it there as long as you want or need.
We're in the middle of
We don't
May
want,
already.
yeah, we don't wanna wait 3 weeks, really.
No, I meant, but by using the term until filled, when an application comes in, you can look at it, and if that's your guy or gal, then do it, you're legally
We
fine.
put this on next Monday's agenda, not knowing what we'd have or where we'd be, but so we can see what we have next Monday night, we can report to you. And move forward there with either interviews or not, if we don't have any.
Well, you may want to even think about a work session before, I mean, because this will take a little bit of time anyway, to talk about what process do you want to use to make a decision, if you want it to just be board interviews, or do you want to do something a little more full-blown? And you don't have to talk about that now, but you're gonna need to figure that out, on what process do you want to use. And an
Okay.
interim is a little different than a full-timer.
Sure.
Before we move on, Jeff Cruz had asked me to just convey to the board his appreciation for the opportunity to visit about our opening, and unfortunately, the timing did not work out to be shared this year, and he wishes you the best of luck as you figure out what you're gonna do, so. Just in conversations, he was just unable to work anything out with his board. They've been in discussions with another district, Lorenz, for a lot longer than we'd been in the game, so. I'm not sure, but I expect that's gonna, I think their meetings are tonight, so I expect that's gonna happen tonight. It'll be shared with Lorenz, so. Okay?
Okay, we'll move on to receive and file or receive and act on superintendent's recommendation to terminate employee contract when the employee has not requested a private hearing.
Yeah, and this is a following a code thing, that it's a sealed envelope, which it needs to be, and I would present that to Chris, and then I would ask the board to receive and file. We'll bring this up later. I'm not asking you to take action, I'm just presenting it to you to meet the timeline.
So give it to John so he can file it. So then we don't have to have any action on that one.
I think, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you might wanna just make a motion that you receive the sealed envelope, so it's on the record.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to receive the sealed envelope and file it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Carried 4-0. Okay, and that's all we came here to do, so.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.